All right. For the intelligent layperson out there and the people in general all around the world, I want to explain something to you, but especially if you are here in America, right? Since no one else is going to do it, I guess I'll be the one to start this dialogue because we can't just leave it up to the superpower governments of the world to do it, right? We're all living on this planet, and there's a great potential to destroy the planet with these super weapons that they're messing around with. So I want to explain something to you. When Donald Trump spoke about building an iron dome over America, he was not talking about a physical dome made of iron, like a lot of you people thought when you were laughing and things of this nature. Let's go to the clip.
I will build an iron dome over our country, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield made in the USA. We do it for other countries. We help other countries. We don't do it for ourselves. We need it too. You know, Reagan proposed that many years ago, Star Wars. He proposed it many, many years ago, but at that time there was no technology. It was just like it looked good. But we have unbelievable technology. We shoot them down. I've seen so many things. I've seen shots that you wouldn't even believe. Missile launched. They go, missile launched, and you hear a bell go. I mean, I see this. It's so incredible. And these guys, these geniuses, they go, these are not muscle guys here. They're muscle guys up here, right? And they calmly walk to us, say, ding, 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 ding. They've only got 17 seconds to figure this whole thing out, right? Boom. Okay. Missile launch. Ping, boom. It's the most and we don't have it here.
This is what Trump was speaking about. It's known as a Tesla shield, all right? So you notice the plane coming in, like missiles or whatnot, and they're blowing up right there at the top. You notice that? And up here as well. You see that? That's what he was talking about. Some of you have heard of EMPs and how they can fire out electronics and so on and so forth. Well, imagine an EMP that's sustained as a globe or a bubble like you see here. It's a Tesla shield, an iron dome, or a Tesla globe. Right? It goes by a few different names, but Iron Dome is what they've been saying for since the 80s. Do you understand that? So now you all know exactly what the heck they were talking about and why this is very important. So when Putin called out the United States a few weeks ago, saying that they could pick the location and bring their air and ground defenses and try to stop those new missiles, I think they're called Orshanik or something like that, from hitting the target, they were trying to see if America had the dome capabilities to protect the United States if they did try to attack.
Шансов никаких нет для того, чтобы сбить эти ракеты. Ну, а если вот те эксперты западные, про которых вы сказали, так полагают, пусть они предложат нам, и пусть предложат тем на Западе и в США, кто им платит за их анализ, произвести некий такой технологический эксперимент, ну, скажем, такую высокотехнологичную дуэль 21 века. Пусть определят какой-то объект для поражения, скажем, в Киеве. Сосредоточат туда все свои силы ПВО и ПРО, а мы нанесем туда удар орешником. И посмотрим, что будет. Мы к такому эксперименту готовы. Готова ли другая сторона?
And by the way, those missiles are not what you think they are either. There were some lies about what those missiles are, but the moment I saw that video, I knew what they were. There is a such thing as energy missiles too, right? They're primarily pure energy, right? And they're created with Tesla technology, just like these are. All right, now understand this is a very ancient theme. Now, there are a number of ways to build a Tesla dome or a Tesla globe or an iron dome. You can build one type where, just say, for example, it's protecting you from incoming fire. So if someone shoots a missile at you, it's going to destroy the missile, yet you can shoot your missiles out at a target. And then the inverse is true, where if you say you could put it over an enemy site, an enemy target, And if they try to shoot missiles out, their missiles are going to blow up on the inside of the dome, all right? And they're going to get their own fallout. But you can send your missiles inside the dome, right? Those are just two examples. Now let's take it a step further. And as a side note, to the United States military personnel, the high-ranking officials, don't be too concerned. I'm not going to expose too much to them. I understand the gravity of the situation. But the people around the globe, particularly here in America, need to understand what's at stake and what types of weapon systems are being utilized, and certain superpowers are plotting to use these devastating super weapons even more. Now, you see the time and date stamp here, ladies and gentlemen. That is not the sun. That is not an artificial sun. What that is an exothermic dome, all right? In other words, it's a cold explosion. A hot explosion is like your typical weapons, right? Explosives, even nukes. They explode outward, all right? Cold explosions actually explode by pulling things in. It sucks energy out of an environment, all right? This is very, very, very little known technology and capabilities. And really only 5% of the world's physicists even know about this technology. It's been kept that much of a secret. And less than 1% even do the work, like building systems, testing models, so on and so forth. All right? So that's what you see here. And this dome is several hundred miles across. This was some tests. This was part of a test being done by the former Soviet Union during the Cold War era in 1982, as you can see. All right? So this is a type of Tesla dome. Right? You can visualize it like this here. Now, or Iron Dome, Tesla Shield, so on and so forth. Now, in the spirit of justice and fairness, I will say that I got to give props where it's due, because the former Soviet Union and Russia, they did try to warn the rest of the world about those technologies. And this was way before the rest of the world even knew. Like I told you, only 5% of the world's physicists even can scratch the surface understanding these sciences, and about 1% are actually building working models and so on and so forth. And with that, I'll just say that I've seen things that you wouldn't believe exist. All right? Now, Russia did not have to tell the United Nations and the world's organizations, governments, so on and so forth, bodies, about this technology decades ago when they did. But they did, right? And they went as far as to say, listen, all life on Earth could be wiped out if this technology is unrestrainedly used, and we think that we should ban the technology right now. This is way before America even knew the technology existed. Do you understand? Not even Japan knew that the technology existed. And you remember Japan led the world in technology for the longest time. Not even they had this. Right? And one of the reasons the Russians got a head start, Nikola Tesla sold the original Death Star, or not Death Star, the Death Ray, Death Beam patents to Russia. Y'all remember that? Or the former Soviet Union. That was one of the things. Also, the medical mafia was murdering and assassinating America's top inventors, right? Inventors that understood these sciences. And they were using the technology for good. Not to kill and blow up shit, but to heal people remotely. I hope you understand. And this was done way back in the 20s, right? So again, the Russians did try to tell the rest of the world, hey, listen, we've been experimenting with these new weapons, these fantastic weapons. And guys, we know that these are far worse than any nuclear weapons you can dream of. You know what they used to call them back in the day? Bunker busting radar. These are, like, you know what a radar is. These are based on time reversed waves and time reversed radar. It's a whole other baby. This is what Nikola Tesla was trying to tell everybody back in the day, but he was so far ahead of his time. I mean, everybody thought he was crazy, right? So when the Russians, who developed the technology based on Tesla's work and then extended it, right, was trying to tell the United Nations, no one took it seriously, all right? So America is playing catch up, and I think that what Trump is doing is telling the people we have a defense for the Russian super weapons, and those are Iron Domes. Part 2.